Welcome everybody. Thank you for taking the time to watch today, and I appreciate you showing up. In the previous clip you saw that I have put some of my tomato plants actually outside. I've moved them from indoors where they're living. I mean, they have a pretty nice life indoors, but I don't really have room for them. I think it's warm enough. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I think it'll be fine. I think they'll be okay outside. We did have temperatures last night go down to 51, but I checked this morning, they looked fine. So I have, in the clip I put out my black cherry and my Hughes tomato plants that I'm keeping for myself. I also put out one of my ox heart tomatoes, which I'm also keeping for myself, and a big rainbow tomato that I'm keeping. So that's what you saw me doing just now. And for today's video, really like the focus of this week's video is what plants am I going to kill? Because quite frankly, my growing space is not getting any bigger, but my plants are, and I need to be a little bit ruthless here, and it's making me sad to think about it, but it is for the best. So I'm gonna review with you a couple of the plants that I have decided that I'm going to get rid of. So that's what this video really is gonna be about. I'm already grieving. It's fine. So the first plant that I actually am culling today is I'm gonna be getting rid of some of my bunny steels grass. I have 12 bunny's tails, and I have 4 pots like this, each with 3 in them. So they've been doing good, and this is the part that's so hard. Like almost everything I'm culling is doing really good, and that's the part that really like hurts. But I've got 6 more just like this, so I might as well make room for other things by getting rid of these 6 seedlings. I really only am going to be needing 1 or 2 of these. I'm going to be giving 1 or 2 to my mother, and then I'm probably going to see if anybody at work wants the other 2. So, you know, I don't anticipate a lot of people are going to want ornamental grass, which kind of makes me sad. It's so like, this is fuzzy. Like, this grass is fuzzy, and that's fun in and of itself, but I don't need 12 of them. So we're gonna decrease. We're gonna cut that one in half, going from 12 plants to 6. I got a twofer. I got another twofer. This one has more than this is a plant that actually I'm struggling with, and I've mentioned it before in other like seedling updates, but I think it's time to just cut my losses on 2 of the plants, which is my big rainbow tomatoes. This one hasn't been doing really well for a while, and I don't know if you can actually see, but like it's looking a little worse for wear. And I didn't even realize until today just kind of like in what rough shape this one was either. Like, it could be, so I'm wondering if maybe this one is just, maybe I've either smothered them to death, which is possible, or I don't know. I've either smothered them to death, or they just, or maybe this tomato is just a rough one to start from a seed. I don't really know the answer. I do have one outside that hopefully, fingers crossed, now that it's out of doors, I've given it a little bit of, I've potted it up from the container it was in, and I've added in a little bit of fertilizer. Maybe that'll help. I have no idea. But my big rainbow's definitely like not my best tomato this year. I also have this tomato, which, like, this tomato's doing phenomenal. This is the one that it actually hurts me to be culling. And the reason I'm culling it is because it doesn't have a marker. I'm 99.9% sure this one is a garden peach. But that being said, garden peach is doing pretty good right now in with my other seedlings. I do need to put one aside for myself and make sure I do keep one for my garden. But this one is not, like, overall the seedlings for this particular tomato are doing really good in general. And this one doesn't have a label. I don't know what it is necessarily. Like I said, I think it's a garden peach. I don't know for sure. So because I half-assed the labeling on this one, it's gonna go in the compost, and I'm gutted. This tomato plant was going places. If I knew anybody who was crazy and like, yeah, I'll take this tomato plant that's unidentified, this tomato plant of unknown origins, I'd give it to that person, but I don't know anybody who would do that. Also, I don't know how well, like, a tomato variety called garden peach, when there's not a tomato for somebody to, like, sample. I don't know how. I don't know if people are gonna want to take a tomato that's a garden peach either. This one, not as big as the other. This one is definitely a garden peach because I have a marker on it. But again, I'm gonna keep one for myself. I'm giving one to my uncle, and I actually did put one aside for my manager at work. But this is, I don't know how comfortable other people are with tomatoes that they've never heard of. So if someone were to take a garden peach home, yay. I also have quite a few of these. These just, like, I think I have extras. I think I'm gonna have extras anyway, but, or at least one extra. I don't know. I'm not confident that this is gonna be an in-demand plant when I am, like, giving my seedlings away. I think there's gonna be other varieties that people are gonna be more comfortable taking home than garden peach. But who knows, maybe next year, because I've never had a garden peach tomato before either myself. I'm gambling. I'm playing fast and loose right here, like way out of my comfort zone, because I can't, like, I've never had a garden peach tomato. And I don't know gosh darn thing about them. So maybe next year when I've had a garden peach tomato, and if I know I like them, maybe then I can, like, talk about them to other people. Maybe I can get people on the garden peach bandwagon. But this year probably isn't the year unless they're familiar with the garden peach variety. Garden peach. This isn't the life I wanted for you. And I have another tomato variety, also in a pot. This one is Hughes. This is actually the variety I'm most excited about, but I do already have something going in this one, and I have two others definitely put aside for people that are going to be going to homes. They don't know that they're getting a Hughes tomato. I think one of them will be really excited about the Hughes tomato, and the other one's not really going to care about the Hughes tomato or why I'm giving it to them. But I'm giving the Hughes, I'm keeping, so there's 3 Hughes tomatoes already accounted for, mine, the one I'm giving to my uncle, and one that I'm giving to my manager at work again. But again, it's just one of those tomatoes that I don't know if people are necessarily going to be invested in a yellow slicing variety. So I'm not necessarily culling all of my plants, but I'm going to be culling some of them. And this is so hard. This is so hard. This is the tomato variety I'm probably the most excited for. With all of that being said though, as my tomato plants are growing, the more excited I'm getting for them. Like my black cherry is, I don't know what I did. I don't know where I went right with my black cherry that I have outside. That thing is doing so well. And I am so excited for the cherry tomatoes that are gonna come off of that plant. As an aside, I'm not culling this one, but I just wanted to give an update. I'm not going to do a full update this week. But I potted up some of my dahlias. Well, I only have 3 dahlias. I may cull one of the dahlia plants, but not this one. This one, I like him. I don't know what he's doing, but I like him. And then I also potted up my asters finally. So they're in newspaper pots. They're in newspaper pots, but I'm hoping this will give them some room and they can, you know, they'll take the extra room and they'll start growing. I did throw some bone meal in with the dahlias, just a little bit, not very much, just because I would like to be able to reuse these year over year. And I know that you do that by saving the corm or the roots. So, and I know that bone meal is good for that root development. So that's where I am with other seedlings I've got going on. Generally, this is it. I'm in an all right place, I think. So what I'm hoping for next week, just looking ahead, I'm probably gonna give another seedling update. I was hoping to do a yard/garden tour next week, but I looked at the forecast and basically it's gonna be rainy from Friday pretty much straight through next week for the like when I looked at the 10-day forecast, it's gonna be rainy and my yard just gets soupy. To-do list for tomorrow was actually to mow while I still have some sunshine, because I mowed last Thursday and by Monday I already was looking at my grass like, why are you shaggy again? I literally cut you 3 days ago. 4 days ago, whatever. The grass is loving the rain, loving the heat, and I love that for the grass. I don't love that for anything else in my yard, because I have clay soil and it takes a really long time to soak in. It rained on Monday here, Monday evening, and it's Wednesday. I've still got puddles in my yard, like soupy. My yard is soupy, damp. It's moist, overly moist, wet, swampy. My yard is swampy. So, but yeah, I'm gonna be doing a seedling update probably next week. Maybe not, probably not a garden tour. The garden tour may have to wait until like the following week. I'm so bummed. My irises are about to bloom. My chives are about to bloom. And I have a wet yard. My yard is squishy. It's squishy. My yard is squishy and damp and swampy and soupy and wet, and it's all these things. And my irises are about to do their thing. My chives are about to flower. I'm so happy, I'm so excited, and yet it's gonna be raining. So that'll have to wait until the following week. But I mean, the irises probably still will have flowers. Chives might still have flowers. I don't really know very much about the flowering habits of chives. I don't really pay attention. But Yes, so next week, so probably next week, maybe just a seedling update, maybe potting some things up. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like are you gonna get sick of watching me potting things up? That's my question. Okay, so from my stairs, I'm just gonna sign out now. Let me know in the comments below if what you've killed off. Have you had to kill anything off? Let me know. Is there anything that's like, do you have any seedlings that aren't doing very good? Because I've shown you what's going on with my big rainbow, and it's tragic. So yeah, I'll see you again soon. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it. Go ahead, comment below, like, subscribe, I suppose, if you want to stick around. There's not that many of you, but maybe someone will stick around. If you're interested in sticking around, I have been pretty good about making sure that I do post on Fridays. So that's when you'll get new videos from me right now at this time. I've been pretty consistent for the last almost 10 weeks. So I'm gonna count that as something, and then I'll see you again next time. I appreciate you taking the time to watch.